Well, good morning. Good morning to you. Hello, audience. Good morning to you, little one down there. And we've got a cloudy day today. Yep, we do, don't we? We had a lovely sunny day yesterday. We had a cloudy day today. The noise in the background is I'm filling up my water container that I have inside for the rainwater. I get about just over 2 days of use out of that little container. That's all the water I use every day, pretty much. Well, maybe a couple more litres more than that. So I got the pool off at the moment because the water level is dropped. Dropped too low. Did that over the last 2 days with the wind that we've had. It's just taken all my water away. And with the sun is out as well, just when it heats up, water disappears. So apart from that, we haven't gone out today because we don't want to get too wet, and we don't know what is going to happen today, whether it's going to rain or not. It rained a little bit last night, not much, just enough to get everything wet. And it's threatening to rain at the moment. So we'll have to see what happens. We've got had 0 virus cases now for nearly 5 weeks in our region. This has been pretty good. Everybody's congratulating everybody else. That's a job well done. The state has 12 active cases, and that's it. So there's only, I think there's 4 state or territories that have cases. Victoria has cases, New South Wales, Tasmania, and I think the Northern Territory may have a case. The New South Wales and Victoria, every state except for Queensland and Western Australia are opening up their borders. Within Queensland, they're allowing people to travel interstate but not come back home. You have to have a good reason why you're coming back home. So one-way trips. New South Wales is really annoyed about that and keep on complaining to Queensland government. The Commonwealth government or federal government want all the borders open, and Queensland are saying no. The Commonwealth wants the borders open on 10th of July. That's the date. So Queensland has been, the tourism industry has been taking bookings and everything, and then last night the government announced we probably won't have the borders open this year. So they're saying we'll be lucky to have any borders, the state borders open by December. which is not good news. So we'll be the odd ones out. Every other state is planning to have their borders open except for Queensland. And so our Premier has said, look, if there's active cases in any other state, basically, the borders will not open. No matter, so that's the status at the moment. Other things are is international flights. They've looked at it, and the Commonwealth government says that by 2025 they're looking at having international flights. So just over 5 years, under 5 years time, they're looking at international flights. Main reason for that is that they don't want international flights without a vaccine, and that can take up to 10 years to get a vaccine. Now, yes, they are saying that they're looking at vaccines or something like that by the end of this year or next year, but the problem is that's just creating it. Just one dose sort of thing. And you got to think of how many doses you can make. It'll take the world ages to make enough doses for everybody. So until that happens, a bit like the flu vaccine, that's what they're saying at the moment. It has to be the same amount as what the flu vaccine is. There won't be any international flights, and everybody is grounded. So that's going to be very, very hard for a lot of the eastern seaboard of Queensland, which is predominantly tourist. And they say there's not enough domestic market, even in Australia, to keep the tourism industry going. But with the tourism industry basically going to collapse by September, which is when all the government subsidies finish, there's going to be a lot of companies collapsing. She's got a bone, a little bit of a bone. There's definitely not enough people in Queensland to keep the tourism industry going. So it means restaurants will be closing, pubs will be shutting up shop, people will be moving out of towns looking for work. So it'll be, really? Oh, poor girl. She was enjoying that bone. He said, yeah, I know, that's why I disturbed her. So there'll probably be a few ghost towns opening up, because people will be going where the jobs are. And at the moment, well, in Queensland, it's a lot of it's farming and resources. The tourism industry. We've got no manufacturing here, next to none. All the manufacturing moved overseas. A lot of it went to China. So unless we start up our own manufacturing, it's not looking too good. Oh, poor thing. Going to manufacturing doggies to do that. And get rid of this rule that you can only have 2 dogs. That's not fair. I think you should be able to have more than 2 dogs. I think if you had 3 dogs, you shouldn't be classed as a breeder. So, I think it's about $1,500 a year per dog if you have more than 2 dogs, because they automatically class you as a breeder. I think it's unfair. We can easily have 3 dogs in this yard. Easily. She's happy. Are you happy, puppy? She says, I am. Not much of a puppy anymore, but she's my puppy still. Hey, big boy Wolfie. And it's sprinkling. If you can see it on the pole, top of the pole. Just a light sprinkle, so we're not really getting wet. And that's why we're not going out. These guys are fine. I can't afford to get a cold. No, we'll leave you to it, everybody. Have a good day, or a great day. Just like these two are. Even without a walk, she's got a big smile ear to ear. And take care, everyone.